Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you're a fan of the bold and the beautiful and you love the emotional twists, complicated relationships, and those moments that keep you guessing, you're definitely in the right place. This past week, from January 19th through the 23rd, 2026, delivered plenty of tension, subtle shifts, and storylines that quietly set bigger things in motion. Some conversations carried more meaning than they first appeared. Some choices raised new questions. And a few situations may have planted the seeds for surprises still to come. In today's recap, we're going to walk through the highlights, the emotional undercurrents, and the moments that shaped the week, all without spoiling anything for anyone who may still be catching up. Before we dive in, if you're enjoying these weekly recaps, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps support the channel and keeps this content coming your way. I'd also love to hear from you. What stood out to you the most this week? Was there a moment that made you pause or start wondering what might happen next? Drop your thoughts, reactions, and predictions in the comments. The conversation is always part of the fun. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future recaps, updates, and discussions. If you know another bold fan who loves talking daytime drama, feel free to share this video with them as well. Alright, let's jump into everything that unfolded this week. On The Bold and the Beautiful this Monday, January 19, 2026, emotions ran high as secrets, loyalties, and power plays collided across Los Angeles. RJ Forrester found himself completely blindsided when he learned that Elektra, the woman he's been quietly developing feelings for, is actually dating his cousin, Will Spencer. The revelation hit hard, leaving RJ conflicted, hurt, and unsure of where he stands. What makes it even more complicated is that his feelings aren't casual anymore. This isn't just jealousy, it's the beginning of a love triangle that could explode at any moment. Meanwhile, Eric Forrester made it crystal clear that he's not done fighting. Feeling pushed aside and disrespected by Ridge and Brooke at Forrester Creations, Eric is determined to remind everyone exactly who he is. His decision to join forces with Katie at her new fashion house, Logan, isn't just business, it's personal. Eric isn't playing defense anymore. He's making a statement, and the industry is about to feel it. Donna, however, can see the fallout coming from a mile away. While she understands Eric's pain, she's deeply worried about what this move will do to the already fragile family dynamic. With Brooke and Katie on opposite sides and Eric drawing a clear line in the sand, Donna fears relationships may be damaged beyond repair. At the same time, Will Spencer is caught in an uncomfortable position. While he's excited about his relationship with Elektra, he can't ignore the professional implications of his mother hiring Eric. Will worries that Eric's involvement with Logan could put his own future at Forrester Creations at risk. Seeking reassurance, he turns to Ridge, who promises his job is safe, but in this family, promises don't always last. As the episode closes, the tension is unmistakable. Eric is preparing his next move, Ridge is unknowingly standing on shaky ground, and RJ is left wrestling with feelings he may not be able to keep buried for long. One thing is clear, loyalties are shifting, emotions are rising, and the fallout is only just beginning. On The Bold and the Beautiful this Tuesday, January 20th, tensions reached a boiling point as old wounds and new feelings collided. Will Spencer and RJ Forrester finally came face to face after years of distance, and it was immediately clear that unresolved history still hangs heavily between them. Once stepbrothers, now cousins, their encounter was charged with jealousy, rivalry, and unfinished business, especially when Elektra entered the conversation. RJ was blindsided when he realized that Elektra is currently dating Will, a revelation that clearly rattled him. What made things even more complicated was the undeniable spark forming between RJ and Elektra, suggesting that her feelings may not be as settled as she claims. Every glance and awkward exchange hinted that a dangerous love triangle is beginning to take shape, one that could easily tear this family further apart. Meanwhile, Steffi stepped into protector mode, issuing a serious warning to Hope about Deacon's behavior. With Deacon growing closer to Taylor while still tied to Sheila, Steffi made it clear that trouble is inevitable. Her concern wasn't just about gossip, it was about history repeating itself and the emotional fallout that could follow if boundaries continue to blur. As the episode wrapped, it became clear that nothing is stable. Will and RJ's rivalry is far from over, Elektra is caught between two very different paths, and Steffi's warning may soon force Hope to confront some uncomfortable truths. With love, loyalty, and family all on the line, the stage is set for explosive consequences in the days ahead. On The Bold and the Beautiful, January 21st delivered emotional tension, forbidden feelings, and dangerous choices inching closer to exposure. Deacon and Taylor found themselves at the center of the storm as the feelings they've been trying to suppress finally surfaced. In a moment that blurred the line between fantasy and reality, the two shared a passionate kiss, not in the physical world, but in their minds, revealing just how deep and undeniable their connection has become. What makes it even more complicated is Hope's unexpected encouragement. Rather than pushing Deacon back towards Sheila, Hope urged him to be honest with himself, to explore what he feels for Taylor, and to consider walking away from a marriage that has always lived in the shadow of danger. Meanwhile, a quieter but equally emotional story unfolded with Will and Dylan. Over dinner, the two bonded in a way that felt intimate and meaningful, sharing experiences that brought them closer than ever. As the night ended, Dylan watched Will sleeping on the couch, clearly moved by the connection forming between them, a bond that feels powerful, even if its future remains uncertain. Steffi, however, was focused on looming consequences. Deeply unsettled by the growing closeness between her mother and Deacon, she begged Taylor to drop him as a patient. Steffi knows better than anyone that Sheila's wrath is not something to take lightly, and her fear wasn't just emotional, it was about survival. Her warning put strain on her relationship with Taylor, forcing Taylor to confront whether helping Deacon is worth the potential fallout. Elsewhere, RJ's interest in Elektra became more obvious. His compliments were sincere and warm, signaling that his curiosity about her is growing, and potentially setting the stage for complications as emotions begin to overlap. By the end of the episode, the message was clear: secrets are building pressure. Deacon is being pulled in two directions, Taylor is standing at the edge of danger, and Sheila remains the ticking time bomb no one can ignore. When the truth finally comes out, the fallout won't be quiet, and not everyone will walk away unscathed. Thursday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful centered on rising tensions, divided loyalties, and emotional lines being crossed, with consequences looming just around the corner. Steffi Forrester took a firm and unmistakable stand when she confronted Deacon Sharp, making it clear that she wants him nowhere near her mother. Steffi didn't hold back, reminding Deacon that he is still married to Sheila and that any involvement with Taylor could put her directly in harm's way. For Steffi, this wasn't about judgment, it was about protection. And she made it clear she will do whatever it takes to keep Taylor safe, even if that means standing in the way of feelings that are clearly growing stronger. But while Steffi is trying to shut the door, Hope is quietly opening it. Hope offered Taylor encouragement, urging her to follow her heart and not deny herself happiness. She believes that Deacon genuinely cares for Taylor and that their connection could be something real, something worth fighting for. This difference in perspective creates a clear divide between Steffi and Hope, with both women believing they're doing what's best, but standing on opposite sides of the same emotional battlefield. Meanwhile, Elektra finds herself increasingly uneasy about Dylan continuing to live with Will. Though she tries to approach the situation calmly, her concerns are rooted in boundaries and trust. The longer Dylan stays, the harder it becomes for Elektra to ignore the tension, and the possibility that lines could blur. Her discomfort threatens to create strain in her relationship with Will, especially if he fails to take her concerns seriously. Dylan, on the other hand, is struggling to regain her independence. Her job search hits another setback when she realizes many positions require a master's degree she doesn't have. Frustrated and discouraged, Dylan remains stuck in limbo, and as long as she stays under Will's roof, the pressure continues to build for everyone involved. As emotions intensify across Los Angeles, one looming question hangs over everything. What happens when Sheila inevitably finds out about Deacon and Taylor's growing connection? History suggests her reaction won't be calm or forgiving. And if Elektra decides to confront Dylan directly, the fallout could permanently reshape her relationship with Will. Feelings are deepening, sides are being chosen, and secrets are becoming harder to contain. On The Bold and the Beautiful, it's only a matter of time before everything comes to light, and when it does, the consequences could be explosive. Friday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered emotional tension, divided loyalties, and relationships inching closer to disaster. Deacon Sharp took a bold step when he asked Taylor Hayes out on a date, opening his heart and making it clear that his feelings for her are real. Taylor was visibly touched by his sincerity, but any hope of happiness was immediately clouded by Steffi's fierce opposition. Steffi remains determined to keep Deacon out of her mother's life and sees this connection as a dangerous mistake waiting to happen. That tension exploded when Steffi overheard a private conversation between Hope and Taylor. Hope encouraged Taylor to give Deacon a chance, urging her to follow her heart instead of living in fear. Steffi did not take that well. The overheard conversation led to a heated confrontation between Steffi and Hope, deepening the rift between the sisters and turning this family disagreement into a full-blown conflict. Elsewhere, Dylan attempted to do the right thing by Elektra. Aware of the growing tension surrounding Will, Dylan promised Elektra that she would respect their relationship and maintain clear boundaries. While Elektra accepted the reassurance, uncertainty lingers over whether Dylan will truly be able to keep that promise as emotions continue to complicate the situation. At Il Giardino, Finn made it clear he wanted no interaction with Sheila. He actively tried to avoid her, likely because of what he knows about Deacon's feelings for Taylor and the potential fallout if Sheila learns the truth. Unfortunately for Finn, Sheila spotted him anyway and quickly cornered him, enthusiastically praising Taylor for saving her marriage to Deacon. The moment only heightened the sense that Sheila is dangerously unaware of what's really happening behind her back. And that's where the episode leaves us, a forbidden connection growing stronger, family lines being drawn, promises that may not hold, and a secret that could explode at any moment. Now it's your turn. Should Taylor give Deacon a chance despite Steffi's warnings? Did Hope cross a line by encouraging her mother? Can Dylan truly stay away from Will? And what will happen when Sheila inevitably discovers the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this recap with fellow fans, and subscribe for more bold and the beautiful breakdowns, recaps, and updates.